Hi, Cindy. I understand your question is who the heck are the people who make up the SAT exam, who decide on those questions that you have to read about and then answer those multiple choice questions? Excuse me, or who decide on those questions that you have to write about? You probably imagine it's a group of grumpy old men and women at Harvard somewhere, and in England, the Cambridge people do it for their kids. No. The people who create the questions on the SATs are a group of Americans who live around the world, and we are experts in testing intelligence. We do not test memory. For that reason, on the SAT, you have no questions about chemistry or what's the largest country in South America. We're looking more for questions in math on the SAT that look for intelligence. You don't need a calculator. You don't need a ruler. Okay, like a triangle has three sides. If one side is 8 and the other side is 5, what's the third side? Okay, a lot of people say 3, but then the triangle would fall down, so it has to be bigger than 3. 8, 5, and more than 3. We also create the questions for the MCAT for med school, which relate to testing intelligence. We're not testing biology. LSAT for law school, GREs for grad school, GMATs for MBAs. My name is Steve Marcus. I live in Spain, and I give classes. I earn a living preparing people for the SAT. I have students who live in Spain who want to go to the United States, but I also teach by Skype to some very rich kids who live in Beverly Hills, Manhattan, Tampa, Florida, Verona, Wisconsin, you name it. They prefer classes with me by Skype for more money than what they would pay to go to a local academy or have local private classes. Because when you study for the SAT with a person who creates the exam, you're getting good quality. I also decide the grade that people get on the SAT, okay? I do not decide the grade of my own students. We're not a mafia. People don't pay me and walk away and they pass. You have to study, and I make sure my students pass the test. If you're taking an SAT exam on the writing, there are 5 things you had better include if you want to pass. Phrasal verbs. Okay, you need time to write that down? Okay. Phrasal verbs, conditionals, idioms, passive voice, and subjunctives. A phrasal verb is something like, instead of saying investigate, you should say something like look into. A third conditional, if we had had electronic books 30 years ago, I would have enjoyed school more. We should look into the advantages of electronic books. It's important that I be honest with you. That is a subjunctive. Electronic books are used by many people nowadays. That's passive, instead of saying many people use electronic books. Okay, and finally, with electronic books, you kill many birds with one stone. The books are light, they're cheap, you can't lose them, but it's not a bed of roses. You need electricity. Okay, I'm using idioms, phrasal verbs, conditional 3, subjunctive, and passive voice. If you want to get a high score on the writing on the SAT or on the MCAT or on the LSAT, GRE, or whatever, GMAT, use those 5 things. Okay? My name is Steve Marcus. You can pay me money and I'll give you classes to prepare you for the SAT. I guarantee you're going to get a high score, but not because I'm going to call someone and get you in the door. We are not a mafia. I'm going to work you and work you hard in the math and in the reading and in the writing and make sure you get the score that you deserve. You can get me at LeviHello at Skype or Steven at inglesgarantizado.com or LeviHello@gmail.com. Or in WhatsApp, you use 34, that's the prefix for Spain, and then 620837894. Or just look for Stephen Marcus or Stephen I. Marcus in Facebook.